The next video we're going to look at from section 3.3 involves negation. There are several laws of negation, so let's take a look at those. The first one is if you want to negate the and compound statement. So if you negate an and, it's actually going to turn into not P or not Q. Similarly, if you negate the or compound statement, it is not P and not Q. So it kind of does the opposite. If you negate the conditional statement, it turns into P and not Q. So that one's kind of different. Then if you negate a negate, I guess that's how you would say, negate a not. I guess we would say negate a not. Then you just get back the original. So yeah, negate a not. I guess that's how we'll say it, negate a not. Then you just get back P. All right. So let's take a look at how this looks. Write the negation of the compound statement. So you have several of these examples on your homework. So P implies not Q. So let's talk about how you would use the laws of negation. So what I've done is I've kind of just given you all of the laws over here on the side to use as a reference. So you have to go and know which one of these laws you need to use. So since this is the conditional one, you're going to use the conditional law. Okay. So the conditional law says that it would turn into P and not Q. All right. But over here, this would have to be my Q. And my Q is already not Q. So it would have to be not Q. Does that make sense? It has to be not whatever is over here on the right side. So it would be P and not Q, which not Q in this case is already not Q. I hope that's not too confusing. So it's not Q. And so whatever's on the right side, you just have to stick it in there as not, okay? So now we need to simplify this. So actually we have to apply another rule, which is this second rule right here. And so we're going to apply that rule, which says if you have, remember, you're negating a not. So when you negate the not, you get back the original. Okay, so now we have P and Q. All right, so this whole thing right here actually just simplifies to P and Q. Okay, so P implies not Q, simplifies to P and Q. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Or was it? Maybe you think it's bad. I don't know. All right, but that's how you do it. So you just have to kind of use your laws of negation and simplify it down. Okay? All right, that's how all of those examples work. Let's look at another one. You have a few examples that actually throw in some math problems, and so these can kind of be tricky. And so this is one of the trickier problems, so I thought I would look at this. Write the negation of the compound statement. If 5x minus 3y equals 5, then x equals 4 and y equals 5. So this one is more of a complicated compound statement. So what we're going to do is we're going to let this first part of the statement, 5x minus 3y equals 5, we're going to divide it up into two parts. So the first part we're going to let be P, 5x minus 3y equals 5. That whole statement, we're going to let that be P. then the second part, we're going to let that be Q. That whole part, x equals 4 and y equals 5, I'm going to consider that whole part to be my Q to begin with. But now Q is a little more complicated because Q is actually kind of like x and y. Okay, so Q is actually a compound statement in and of itself. It's x and y. Okay, so I've got a lot going on. So now we're going to have to kind of break this up even a little bit more. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to have this, we have to write the negation of this statement. I know that I have a conditional statement because it says if and then. So that's conditional. All right. So I'm going to start out with this if then. So I'm going to start out if P then Q. Now, so what I'm going to do is I brought this down and I'm going to say if P, it's going to say P and not Q. Now, my Q in this case is this x and y. So I'm going to say P and not x and y. Okay, does that make sense? Because I wanted it to say not Q, but my Q in this case is x and y. So I put that in there. So that came straight from this definition. P and not Q, but Q in this case was x and y. All right, so I just substituted that in there. Okay, now we're going to take a look at this and we're going to see what can we do with this. So I have not x and y. Now when I look at not x and y, well, that's this definition up here, right? X and y. So I can use that definition to help me out even more. Okay, so I can keep going. So I'm going to use that definition now. So that definition tells me that not x and y is the same thing as not x or not y. So I can rewrite this part as not x or not y. So really this whole thing is P and not x or not y. So now I'm going to look and I'm going to see, can I do anything else to this? Is there anything else I need to do? So I'm going to look. Is there anything else I need to simplify? I don't think so. I think this is pretty simple. I mean, this is as far as I can go with it. So really, this is my answer. So this is the negation of the compound statement. So this statement is P and not x or not y. And that would be it. So that is your final answer. Okay? So that would be it. All right. I hope this helps you, and you'll have several of these on your homework. So if you need to replay this video again, feel free to do that. But all of them work very similar. All right. Thanks a lot. If you have any questions, let me know.